Hi guys, I'm back with another video on how to work out the cost of your renovation before you do anything else. So this has come about because I have a lot of conversations with people about overcapitalizing on their investment, their renovation or their home. And it's a very straightforward kind of question to answer. So say you've got a house that's worth $1 million and you can work out the value of your house using realestate.com.au or any of the tools available. And I'm just using $1 million because it's easy to remember. And we're forecasting a renovation budget of circa $600,000 using some of the tools. I'll put a link in the video to the other video with the tools available. And you're struggling to come to terms with the 600,000 because you don't feel that your house will be worth $1.6 million when you finish it. So the easiest thing to do is to think about all the things that you're adding to your current house and what that would look like in terms of a real estate purchase, and then go on to the real estate sites, find a house that ticks all those boxes in the same area that you are in, and see what it's worth. It has to be renovated to a high standard because obviously all the renovations we do are to a high standard, and it will eliminate that initial response that people have to overcapitalizing. Because what you'll find is that a well-planned, well-executed renovation that makes your house a great place to be, that your friends and family love, everyone's going to love it. And they're not that common. The houses that tick those boxes, they're not that common. So they're usually renovated homes, and people love them because they've been planned and executed really well. So that's the first step in the process, is to overcome this hurdle of, am I going to overcapitalize on my property? You can work the answer out in 20 minutes time. The caveat on this is the time it takes you to get to market. So if you're in the infancy of having a thought bubble about doing a renovation at your house, and it may be simple, it may be kitchen, bathroom, laundry and things like that. It doesn't matter if it's an extension or whatever. Find the value of your property as it stands today. Get a capital gains property valuation, because that's a real good indicator. That's a good valuation to get if you're ever thinking about investing the property out or renting it out or something like that. But find a property that represents what your finished product will look like and see how much it's worth. And that will give you a broad, rough range of what you can spend up to before you hit that overcapitalization buffer, that mark in that imaginary point in the road at which you feel that you've spent too much. So once you've done that, it's important to factor in, because you might be thinking about moving, you might be thinking about renovating. When you sell your house, you've got agents fees to pay, and when you buy your house, you've got stamp duty to pay. You've got moving costs, which you're probably going to have anyway when you're doing a large scale renovation, because you're going to have rent and moving costs in the renovation. So a lot of the costs are swappable between them, but stamp duty is a huge one. So the cost of selling your house and moving into another property has a cost attached to it, and that will be dependent on the market and the values of the properties that you are selling and buying. But realistically, there's a bit of time in between these things. So if you're just thinking about it, you might be a year away from starting planning. And then once you start planning, you might backwards and forwards on ideas for a year. And then once you start building, you'll build for 9 to 12 months in a renovation, 6 to 12 months, depending on the extension renovation work. And so you've really got a 3-year growth period in your house price, as well as the current market capitalization. So it's a great way to think about your project if you're in the frame of mind of, am I going to overcapitalize? So I hope that can help you find out what you can spend without overcapitalizing, and help clarify you if you're at that point in your journey.